that leadership decided to put the human rights provisions in this bill?
I think that's a question that you'll have to ask people who have worked on that provision.
Yes.
In the back.
In terms of U.S. stock trade ban legislation, it's been sort of batted around in both the Senate and the House by Republicans and Democrats. I mean, my question is sort of to all of you, maybe a show of hands, if you support that legislation, and especially given the fact that U.S. lawmakers traded an estimated $355 million worth of stocks last year. And what would you say to people who are worried that in terms of regulating big tech, that owning stocks like Apple and Amazon is a conflict of interest?
Yeah, I'm all for the classroom setting, but we don't really do shows of hands here. I will say that there's legislation right now that has been put forth by a variety of our colleagues, all of whom are incredibly well respected, to deal with this issue. Those bills are pending before the House Administration Committee. I certainly look forward to the work product that they put forward, and I've already previously expressed my personal position on this issue.
This legislation obviously contains provisions to address the supply chain and inflation, but I'm wondering if you think that this bill covers the gamut of what the House needs to do, or does there need to be, are you planning on having additional bills that also address supply chain issues and inflation issues?
It's an incredibly important step forward for all the reasons that have been articulated, and directly addresses the challenges around supply chain issues and inflation. But the business of the people always continues, and House Democrats are always going to continue to work to do several things, much of which we've already done. Create millions of good paying jobs, as we've done with the bipartisan infrastructure agreement, lower costs, and make sure that we provide support to everyday Americans in a changing economy. We've done that through a variety of different efforts, including the child tax credit that we're working to continue. Democrats will continue to deliver for the people in these areas. But what is in front of us right now, making sure we get the America Competes Act over the finish line. Pete? EPCC? Joe?
Yeah, sure. I would just reinforce what Chairman Jeffries articulated. It's not a myopic approach, right? The caucus has adopted a holistic approach in coordination with the Biden administration to address inflation. Of course, the Competes Act is a large step forward in addressing the problem. As the chairman put it, there are other activities as well that the House is engaged in. Just currently, for example, the House Judiciary Committee and the House Oversight Committee engaged in a number of different important investigations as it relates to competitiveness to ensure that our economy remains as competitive as possible. And that obviously also dovetails with the actions that the FTC has taken under the new commissioner or chairwoman, rather, appointed by President Biden to ensure that in particular industries where we see some of these price pressures that are far more pronounced, that we're pulling the right policy levers to ensure that the American people have access to goods at a reasonable price. So I think you will see the Congress take further steps in the coming weeks. Our members have a number of different bills, some of which are far more technical in nature, some of which are far larger in nature. And I suspect that over the course of the next 8 weeks, you'll see us consider more of those bills on the floor. But for now, the focus remains getting the American Competes Act across the finish line. And it would be nice if House Republicans would join the effort, given the incredible support that this particular bill has amongst the business community, amongst labor, and so many other stakeholders across the country.
On government funding, how confident are you that there will be some sort of deal by the end of the week? And will a short-term continuing resolution be necessary?
Well, Chair, I'm going to yield to Pete because he's on the Appropriations Committee. But Chairwoman Rosa DeLauro has been working incredibly hard to arrive at a four corners agreement. We've done our work in the House of Representatives, and hopefully Senate Republicans will see fit to proceed in a way that funds the government fully and robustly, because many of the investments that are contained in an omnibus spending agreement are necessary to improve and enhance the quality of life of everyday Americans. That's what we're all about. It's not just a ministerial bill, a spending agreement. for many people, it's a matter of life and death. And so I'm cautiously optimistic that we'll be able to arrive at an agreement, but a lot of that depends on the goodwill of our partners in the Senate.
I share the chairman's optimism here, but obviously we'll defer to Chair DeLauro. She's been working with her colleagues on the Senate side. They've had four corners meetings. They're going to continue to meet. She has not given the Democratic caucus a full readout, but she has our complete confidence to engage in these discussions. As the chairman said, government funding should not be something that's treated like a political football. You know, this is important. It's important to fund our priorities. It's important to fund health and safety priorities. Chair McCollum led a hearing talking about the importance to the Department of Defense and our national priorities at a time when we see potential conflict. This is not the time to have a full year CR. So we want to do everything we can to avoid that. Members have priorities as well. We would like to see those addressed within this bill, and Chair DeLauro has our confidence that she has the best interest of the country and the caucus in mind as she engages in these discussions.
Last two questions, and then we'll go to the back. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, the New York maps are soon to be approved and have been kind of labeled essentially as favoring Democrats. I'm curious if you think that undermines Democrats' message of promoting free elections.
Well, I'm going to refrain from commenting until the legislature acts. It's my understanding that they may act today, they may act tomorrow. In terms of the district that I represent, there are several communities of interest within it that have historically been kept together. As far as I can tell, they have been kept together in this particular map, but let's see what the legislature does before I make any further comment.
Does it help with the dynamics heading into midterms?
I'm not sure.
So yesterday, Congressman Judy issued a letter warning against stirring up xenophobia with the debate of American Competes Act. I was wondering if any of you share the same concern.
Sure.
The American Competes Act will make America a global leader. So we're going to pass this bill because it helps America be the #1 country in the world in a variety of industrial sectors. And this is against challenges from any country in the world. I also note that sometimes what we do see happen in U.S. history is when xenophobia against another country blows back against Americans who happen to be of Asian descent. So if you look at our country's history, we had the whole Yellow Peril hysteria that was followed by the Chinese Exclusion Act, and that was then followed by the Japanese internment. And then in the 1980s, when America feared the economic rise of Japan, there was a lot of discrimination against Americans who happened to be of Asian descent, including the murder of Vincent Chin in Detroit. So we have to just make sure that we push back and let the American people know that you do not racially profile or discriminate against Americans who happen to be of Asian descent, regardless of what you think of what any other foreign country may or may not be doing.
The organized labor community supports the effort to make sure that America can compete. The Chamber of Commerce supports the effort to make sure that America can compete. The National Association of Manufacturers supports the effort to make sure that America can compete. The business community supports the effort to make sure that America can compete. Well, House Republicans support the effort to make sure that America can compete, or will they continue to play partisan political games? Democrats will continue to deliver for the people. We are going to pass the America Competes Act.